The business sector has rapidly shifted towards using artificial intelligence to do things like improve productivity, reduce costs and automate procedures. AI-powered tools are also popping up everywhere, including on your phone with things like chatbots and graphic design apps. US tech company Qualtrics specialises in experience management, and it uses AI to help companies understand what customers are thinking and what they want. Its Chief Executive Zig Serafin's in Australia, and he joins me now on the set. Zig, thanks for your time. Let's start with experience management. What is it? Why is it important?
Well, experience management is the ability to meaningfully understand what people are thinking, what people are tuning into, what's important to them in the way they engage with companies, and then be able to distill that in real time and take the right actions. And probably the most important ingredient on that is how to do that at scale.
Yep.
For businesses of any size.
Yes, so obviously you're in Australia right now. Who are some of your big Aussie customers, the everyday names we might know, that are starting to work with you and understanding what their customers are actually telling them?
Yeah, well, we have actually opportune time because this week we had one of the world's largest experience management conferences where you have people from every industry that have come together. We've had thousands of people here hosted right here in Sydney who've come together, and there's an exponential shift right now in the number of companies that are paying attention to creating that special human connection that should exist between the way that they interact with their customers and the way that their brand shows up. And so you have companies like Hilton, you have companies like Atlassian, Xero, companies like DoorDash, who also were big speakers at this conference as well. But probably the greatest part is this is a place where people are now using AI to be able to drive a deeper connection around that ultimately differentiates their brand.
Yeah, that human-centered approach to technology, bridging the gap between machines and people. How much info can AI get out of, say, I know Flight Centre's another customer you've got, to help that business improve?
Well, what happens is that our systems are precision-tuned using AI to be able to extract an understanding of what matters more to people at different moments in how they interact with the business. Where are there opportunities for deeper emotional connection? Where are there places where you have friction in your business that's unnecessary, where it might actually end up affecting churn in your business, or where, what might drive attraction to your business as a result? In fact, there was an interesting Harvard Review case study that we did, that they did, that actually has some interesting data points, which is that customers that establish an emotional connection with the business have a 52% higher lifetime value than those that are only just satisfied. So the idea is not just to have customers who are satisfied with your business, but actually be able to reach that human connection, which actually can drive an emotional connection.
About a year ago, you announced Qualtrics would spend $500 million over 4 years into artificial intelligence. I think you've just launched the Qualtrics Assist. But what's next in the pipeline?
Well, there's a whole range of capabilities where we're supercharging our experience management system, where how a brand shows up, how customers experience a company's entire customer journey, how companies innovate on the product experience, how employees can show up as advocates to that brand. So AI is supercharging the things that a company should pay attention to at every moment that matters to their customers. So some of that comes to life in the form of assistants that help a manager to pay attention to the things that matter most. Say, for example, a store manager inside a Shake Shack, which is a big customer of ours, helping them to be able to dial in the experiences that need to come to life when someone steps foot into the store, into the retail location, but also make sure the right ingredients come to life to be able to have market-leading products in the marketplace.
And what's the best way for these companies to get feedback from customers? Is it direct, comments online or internal stuff? How does it actually work?
It's a great question. So the old way of doing it is people would send a survey out after, say, someone visited a store, and maybe 30 days later someone reads that and they semi-pay attention to it. The new school way of doing it, a more modern approach, is you instrument the entire journey of that customer experience. So the moment that someone interacts with your app, to when they're on your website, to when they interact with a human being at your retail location, to the call center. One connected system. And you're now tuning into data that is both what people are telling you when you ask the right question, often more conversationally, based on what's on your website, asking the right question at that moment in time, but also tuning into the data that has to do with not even ever asking a question in the first place, which is tying in or tuning into social media data, information that's in the call center, things that employees are frustrated on that's showing up in data inside your company. And so we pull all of that together, we synthesize that in real time, and we help take meaningful action on an everyday basis.
Yeah, and what happens if there's like a series of, I don't know, fake comments or negativity that's been deliberately targeted at a business? Can you kind of weed that out?
Yes, in a very simple sense, yes. Using techniques that are in the system, and that's the difference between Qualtrics and many other systems, is that we hone in on statistically significant, real data that you have to pay attention to so that when you take that action, it creates an exponential benefit in your business results. And so that's why most market leaders in various industries are running on Qualtrics today, and that's showing up in their revenue growth and bottom line product profitability, which is a very important topic these days.
Now, before you were at Qualtrics, you were at Microsoft for a long time, worked with Bill Gates. Like, what learnings did you have from that experience that you've now brought over to Qualtrics?
One of the most important learnings I've had is building platforms where you can bring an ecosystem of people together, enable innovation, often innovation that you haven't come up with on your own even. And that's what we're seeing inside Qualtrics, where even at this conference that we've hosted this week, we have thousands of companies that have come together from many different industries, and they're thinking up ideas that we've never thought of ourselves, but our platform is enabling them to put things in place that they can scale to differentiate their own businesses, but also they share ideas that businesses in completely different industries are also taking advantage of. And so that creates a movement and an effect that makes quite a difference in the impact that we can create as a company.
One big challenge facing Australia's economy and other economies is lack of productivity growth. Can improving customer experience improve productivity?
Well, what happens is you first start by paying attention to how your employees are spending time. And so productivity and output actually first starts with the way that your workforce spends time. And so if you have a highly engaged workforce, it's likely that they will not only be advocates for your customer, but they'll actually also be in a place where they're spending their time on the things that have the greatest impact. So the other part of our system actually allows HR leaders to tune in and understand the employee base and know what difference can be made in the impact that they end up delivering to their business. So for example, how their manager is interacting with them, or the impact of the technology that they're using in their place of work, and the cumulative effect that creates over time based on different cohorts of employees, and the impact that creates on what shows up in the marketplace.
You also went private March 2023. Since then, have there been any changes to the way the company's operated, or has it been basically the same?
We take every 6 months as a company an opportunity to step back and say, are we running most effectively based upon what we're doing in the marketplace? And so we try to be the best example ourselves of being an experienced leader using our own technology. And that informs the way that we operate as a company, which includes, are we set up best to be able to serve our customer in certain markets? But it also includes, are we set up best to harness the right energy in the company to make sure that we're the foremost innovator with the products that we deliver to the marketplace.
And really quickly, how confident are you about the rest of this year?
I'm quite excited, especially seeing the output that's coming from this conference that we had here and the level of engagement from customers and innovation that people would like to see, and the partnerships that are being forged across the markets that we're participating in here in the APJ region.
Zig Serafin, CEO of Qualtrics. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.